is about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to yet another wonderful episode of Sports Orbit, reaching you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Afa Acho, and Salifu Usman is also here with me. Salifu, welcome once again.
Thank you. So, as usual, it's always a pleasure to be on the spot.
In this episode of Sports Orbit, we have an exciting and wonderful package for you. In the course of this program, our colleague, or should I say former colleague, still our colleague in the business, Wale Ayeni, will likely be joining us all the way from the UK, and let's see what he has to say to us in the course of this program. Well, we'll begin with the story coming from the Spanish second division, where the Spanish Players Union have actually backed Kelechi Neakali over the decision by Huesca to freeze him out of the team. This was as a result of his, according to the team, they said that he arrived late after the AFCON qualifiers, and a fine was slammed on him, and he was actually even banished to playing from training to training with, I think, maybe the feeder team or something like that. And according to him, he said that he took ill after the AFCON. That's why he returned late. And to show solidarity for their colleague, the Spanish Players Union, actually backing him and affirmed a decision by Huesca to actually slam that heavy fine on him.
Yeah, I commend the Spanish player unions to come to the rescue of Nwakali, because what the Huesca has trying to do is just, how do I describe it? To me, I see it as a captain to raise or just to intimidation, or because you don't do it in a modern way. You don't behave, treat a player like as if he's a slave. Because a player, you have a genuine excuse. Yes, you free him to go and play for his country, and after play for his country crash out of the culture. It is, he knows it is expected of him to report back to the team. But it's a whom, unfortunately, he took ill. So, and if you are doubting his decree, and to prove right that he actually took ill, he came with a medical report about his He came with a medical report about his state of health. That who came down the line and show you the medical report, but still you still went ahead, slam a fine on him, freeze him out of the team to play with, and yet you are still insisting that you must punish him for that. You don't treat the player as if he's a slave. And I commend the Spanish players, the Spanish players, to come to the rescue of one of their own, because what they have shown that yes, it is Nwakali today, it can happen to another player, it can happen to any of them tomorrow, and it's good that they have taken this kind of measure to ensure that the Spanish club, they hope that we withdraw that their actions against the player and recall him back to the team, to the main team. You don't, in the modern world, you don't treat the player in short manner. Yes, a club have the right to punish the player if the player has erred or wrong, but yes, he comes with the proof. If you doubt the credibility of that proof, go further to do a further investigation, or contact the when you get the medical report for either it's true or not true, or put in the medical chart to check if it truly have an ear or not, but not just apply all sort of unwarranted sanctions on the player, on innocent player,
But I mean, according to still on that story, they even said that they actually wanted him to go on loan
Yeah.
But he refused the option of loan. Instead, he wanted to actually outrightly leave the club. But this is serving like a punishment for his refusal to leave the club on loan or something like of that nature.
Well, I don't really understand why they are taking all this kind of session. What do you say that he's no longer is a surplus to the number the requirement in the number of the club? Nwakali has been a key player. Is a key player to the Spanish club, to the club, and he has been done well in recent time for the club. He was even instrumental that way almost ending the club in qualification to the Spanish league before they lost out in the playoff. But yeah, he's not a player because he returned late from the Africa Cup of Nations. Yes, we are not citing him to return late from the if he has no genuine reason. But in this case, he has a genuine reason.
A medical
Present
report
to you a medical report, and that's why his colleagues at the Spanish club, the Spanish are coming to the rescue. No, you don't treat a player, you don't treat somebody like this. If he has not even shown you a reason for his legs, it can be a different thing. Show you a reason and a proof. That should be enough for any sensible club to have okay with it. But despite all the breakers want to tell you still insist that no, say you want to say him, you don't the dominant is slavery kind of problem for a player, and we trust it should not be tolerated.
All right, moving away from that and onto the African women qualifying match against Nigeria versus Cote d'Ivoire, which should be starting at any moment from now. But the news is that Captain Asisa Oshoala will be missing in that one due to a knock she had in the course while she reported to camp. Recall that in the first game against Cote d'Ivoire, even with her absence, Nigeria was still able to come away with a 2-0 victory in that one. And this afternoon also will be facing the Ivorians still without her presence. But I believe the girls on that will be called upon to prosecute this match are good enough to get the job done if they stay focused and do not lose concentration.
Yeah, they need to stay focused, and I hope that just the way they did in Abuja here without her, still went ahead against the result, and I hope they can also cope without her. Inashmosa would have loved to have her presence because her presence in the team matters a lot.
Definitely, African Footballer of the Year.
Footballer of the Year from Nova times playing in Spanish, Barcelona's lady. So it's a top player. Her presence is either kick a ball, a kick a ball. Her presence on the pitch, either kicking the ball, not kicking the ball, is a threat to their opponent, and that will also keep their opponent on shake and allow the other team to also operate. Because when you have a big elephant in the bush or a big fish in the fish, so every other trying to jitter and try to run away, all their focus on the Oshoala would have give other players to also operate. But being as that, the since we are not going to have that advantage having our presence and then to decide their opponent defense. So we hope that those that we call up, just like the way they did here, will also replicate the same gesture and make sure that they beat Abuja in their home ground, just like they want to have probably say that they are going to win in Ivory Coast. So we hope that they will be able to come up victorious in this encounter and cement their place to the Morocco 2022. That is all we are looking for. In Oshoala, I hope from the way he will be judging the players and also all of them to go ahead.
We'll keep an eye on that one. That match will be played today. Should be starting any moment from now, and we'll keep an eye on that one. And we hope that the Super Falcons will get the job done and book that crucial qualification.
If you look at the match against the first leg here playing Abuja here, because Handron made some fantastic decisions that he also give hand out first start for a new debutant and force them to put new players who have never played for the Super Falcons to make their debut that year. And those guys did disappointed, and I hope that opportunity will also be given to more players and more players. Yeah, Randall has shown that as far as we are going, we have a place. So there's no any permanent share for any players. And even though I registered the song, even if he is not fit enough, I have just push show that if you're not fit enough, you're not to play. So every player have to be on their toes, have to be make sure that if I make any slack or I make him say this man, he has the problem to drop me. So definitely everybody will want to prove. And I hope that today, by the end of 90 minutes, we should be cement up and ensure that we're already in Morocco.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Like I said earlier, we'll keep an eye on that and we'll be watching, and we hope that Super Eagles, Falcons rather, emerged victorious in that one. Away from that, on to the MPFL, where one match will be going down today, and of course, it will be between Gombe United and Plateau United. That match should have started right about now. Quickly, Salifu, looking at this match, it could have almost been like a derby, but Gombe United is still not, but they are still neighboring states. So these are two teams who really know each other.
Yeah, they know each other, and at the same time, there's a whole lot at stake in these competitions.
Yeah.
Plateau United want to bounce back to the
top of league. Yeah.
Lost that position to
Rivers United
because of the having one match at hand, which is the match they're going to play now. So they will be hoping to pass back to the team to the top of the league. And the Gombe United coach has also found that no, the Plateau United will return empty-handed. That they are ready to go all out and get the gap on the 3 points. So there is a whole lot to play for in this game today in Gombe, and the two teams definitely Gombe United have also shown that they has the capability to also beat any team.
Looking at Plateau United so far, we saw them briefly assume top of the table last weekend until Rivers United came back to topple them. The way it's going currently, initially it was like Remo Stars were, runaway leaders, but Remo Stars seems to be dropping continuously, and Rivers United and Plateau United at this point, with almost the league going halfway, have clearly emerged as the top two teams to beat in this league so far.
So I quite agree with you, but it's too early to cut to say where the league, where the panel finally go to, or where the league is going to, the title will go to at the end of the day, or who's going to finish in the first or top and third position. Because if you're looking at the table currently,
but they are about 5 points away from the chasing pack.
5 points, yes, 5 points away. In as much as you may, I'll refer you to what happened in the EPL. We assume that Man City has already close to victory until just a defeat, one match lost to Tottenham has all totally opened the gap. And now everybody is hoping that Liverpool is also hoping that they can still have a chance to compete for the title. So definitely it's 5 points. In as well as looking at the table, that having the 5 point difference. Okay, let's even for instance, Plateau United, if they want today, that will take them to 31 points. At 1 point, if they go to 1 point, that will give them a gap between the third place person in a amount of almost 8 point difference. But 8 points difference, you may say that is good enough. Okay, if you slip in the next 2 matches, you are already down onto the same point with the club. So then, just 14 match, and out of the 13th match, I think to me it's still I say it's still early to call. To pronounce who the league is. But the two teams we are seeing at the top of the table at the moment, there's every probability that they may end up being within the top 4.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And of course, you look at the table, even Enugu Rangers are not doing too badly too. I think this season they really come up strong.
Yes, if you look at it, Enugu Rangers, Fremont Stars, Aqua United are all on 23 points. Followed by Kwara United, who is on 20, which is 6th position with 21 points. So all these teams we are not even forgetting the Yiba,
I also on 21 points.
So definitely all these teams still have a very reliable chance to also claim that my target I'm going to get continental ticket, or my target I'm going to win the league. If they cannot even pronounce it, I'm going to win the league, they can still hold us up. We're competing for a continental ticket.
All right, at this point, we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, Sports Orbit continues. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship,
and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on to Sports Orbit from the Leadership Podcast Studio. We said earlier that Wale should be joining us, but I think he can't join us yet. Okay, yes, Wale has joined us. Wale, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alpha. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Good to see you, Wale.
Thank you, Alpha. How you doing?
Well, good to see you. Good afternoon. How are you doing over there?
Fine. I'm very fine. Thank you.
Okay, you have been away for a very short time, so I hope you are trying to follow what is happening in the Nigeria sport. So, what is your take? How are you feeling? Monitor the Nigeria sport away from where you are.
Okay. It has been, impressive for the Nigerian sport in the last couple of months. Also, we saw, looking at the Super Eagles, we thought they were going to, get to the finals of the Nations Cup, but they actually, crashed out in the round of 16. But we saw a new brand team that we can hope for the futures. We saw them in the group stage. They defeated Egypt, and also they played perfectly well. But it's a game of football. Anything can happen in between, 90 minutes. Apart from that, also late last week, we saw how a Blessing Okagbare, how she was being banned, by the world, athletics body is just not so good for athletics generally in Nigeria. I haven't seen where we have been actually be coming from, and we actually got that ban. And also, looking at the Super Falcons, they actually defeated Ivory Coast last week right there in Abuja, and I'm actually putting on the Super Eagles, jersey today just to actually support the Super Falcons. We hope they get to beat Ivory Coast for them to make it to the 2020 African Cup of Nations. Talking about the women's championship. This is a must-win match for the Super Falcons because they need to actually qualify to the Nations Cup so that they can actually qualify to the World Cup. We saw these Ivorians getting to defeat us.
Where you are in the English Premier League, everybody was hoping that the Manchester United is already Manchester City is already coasting to victory. On the last weekend, they suffered a 3 defeat to Tottenham, and that has opened up the league. So, what is your assessment about the league, and so far, what do you see in the English Premier League?
Of course, the title chance is still very, very wide open. Most fans right here in London, they are still saying that Liverpool might just come at the end of the day and get to win the English Premiership because Man City still have a whole lot of big games ahead of them. They still have the like of Chelsea, Liverpool, to play against. Also Manchester United to play against. Talking about the return leg of the English Premiership. So the league is quite open. We saw the likes of Chelsea coming back from winning, the World Cup club, and they are getting, they are reading the game. They actually won Crystal Palace. Liverpool also getting to show class. Jurgen Klopp not, removing his leg from the pedal is showing that Liverpool also stand a chance to get to win this particular title, despite the fact that Arsenal, have not been playing well. But at this point in time, they still have, the chance for them to make it to the top four in the English Premiership. Looking at the likes of Tottenham, also Manchester United, also they are all fighting for a place in the top four. So the remaining games of the English Premiership at this point in time is going to be difficult. Every match would be fought to the last minute of every game. So it's actually going to go down to the wire. So at this point in time, Manchester City can just sit back and relax and say that the league is theirs. They need to actually work for it at this point.
Manchester City can sit back and relax, because if you look at today's match, Liverpool is going to take on Leeds United today, and if they win that match, that will reduce the gap between them and Man City to just 3 points. And with that just 3 points, definitely Man City cannot sit down and relax. But looking at that match, what do you think the league, where is going to be a two-horse race between Liverpool and Man City?
Of course, no doubt about it. The club knows the importance of this game against Leeds. He knows that if he gets to take all maximum points, they will actually reduce the deficit when it comes to the points between them and Manchester City. And also, we know that Leeds have not been playing well this season, even both at home and away games. Liverpool, who have their players back after the Nations Cup, the likes of Mane, the likes of Mohamed Salah, they want to actually make sure that they get the 3 points in the bag, heading back to the Merseyside side to ensure that any slip for Manchester City again, just like the way we saw them against Tottenham losing and the last minute of that particular game, we saw Antonio Conte celebrating. He was very, very happy with that particular goal from Kane. We know that if Liverpool can get this done, then there might be a hope that title might just be be in front of them going forward.
All right. Still talking about Liverpool. There are speculations that Real Madrid might move in for the Liverpool forward, who is currently at the end. His contract will be running down soon. Do you think this will be a good move for Madrid? And we all know the pedigree of Sadio Mane. And do you think Liverpool will be willing to let him go at this point in time, knowing that he's one of the key players in that team? Talking about Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, Robert Firmino, and of course the addition they got from Portugal and also Diego Jota. Do you think this will be a good move for Madrid? And do you think Liverpool will be willing to let Sadio Mane leave for Madrid?
Of course, every dream of every player is to play for the most successful club in the world. You know that Real Madrid is the most successful club in the world. Take it anywhere, and every player playing football will want to actually play for them. And we know the pedigree of Sadio Mane at this point in time. We saw how they actually helped this team to win their first AFCON title in the history of Senegal. So at this point in time, for me, I feel Man U will want to go to Real Madrid, but you should actually watch it. We saw the legs of Eden Hazard going to Real Madrid when he was in his top form and he couldn't actually fire with all cylinders. We saw the legs of Coutinho also moving to the Spanish league from same Liverpool going to Barcelona, and he didn't actually find his rhythm in that particular team. So you should actually watch it. But we saw also news also coming that Hazard may just be loaned back to Chelsea. For me, it's a good move, but it's not the same Hazard that we used to see, in the back days for Chelsea. He has not actually replicated such performance at donning the shirt of Real Madrid. But who knows? Maybe he can actually come back to Chelsea and pick up his form. We'll just keep our finger crossed and all that. But it's going to be a major move if Sadio Mane can actually seal a move to Real Madrid. But will Liverpool want to actually allow Mane to go? That will be a big question that many will be actually be looking for answers, and that answer will only be coming from Jurgen Klopp.
Okay, just like if I get you right, that you have said that Mane has to watch out, just like what happened to Coutinho when he left Liverpool and he couldn't play. But looking at the and he also make an example of Hazard who left Chelsea to Real Madrid and he couldn't play. Now Madrid want to lure him back to the Chelsea. Do you think that Hazard will recover his form if he came back to Chelsea?
Of course, for me, it's going to be a 50-50 because when Hazard was playing in Chelsea, majority of this present couple of players were not actually in Chelsea then. So he is coming to a new team, so he will need time for him to actually pick himself up. But who knows? Maybe putting on the blue jersey may actually get to rekindle his playing form for his career. Who knows? But let us keep our finger crossed and see if that loan will actually pull through. But if it pulls through, then he'll be getting to fight for shirts with the likes of Ziyech, who has been playing well, with the likes of Kevin Harvard, who has also been playing well for Chelsea. So it's going to be a whole lot of a massive work that Hazard need to do to prove Thomas right that he's the man that he wants to be on the pitch at every given time.
All right. Yesterday we saw some Champions League matches go down. It was Lille against Chelsea, and Chelsea triumphed 2-0 in that one. Villarreal against Juventus. It was a score or a 1-1 draw, and of course, the way it's looking, Chelsea are almost through to the next round, winning that 2-0 at home. But of course, there's still a lot to play for against Lille out there in France. But for Villarreal and Juventus, it's still very open.
Still very, very open. But even the Chelsea, yes, 2-0 is a good advantage. Taking a good advantage to Lille. It says we probably more comfortably to say, okay, yeah, we can play whatever we play at Lille and get into the process. But that is not to say you rest on their hours. 2-0 can be cancelled within a 2 minutes. Even 4-0 can be wiped out. Remember what happened to Atletico Madrid when they visited Liverpool with the 4-goal lead. But when they come to Liverpool, the same thing could not happen. So anything in the game of anything can happen. So until it's over, so they still have another 90 minutes to play. And Lille, you can't completely read the league off. So the next leg they'll be at home. And so why says will play away. So they also have a chance. And they're talking of Villarreal and the Jubes. So to me, if you look at it, so the Jubes will have an advantage of say one goal, Motango, no more away goal. So it's still very so it's still very clear and still very square on the neutral ground for both of them. So we hope that the Villarreal and the Super Eagles, I was happy watching the Super Eagles yesterday for the very brilliant performance against the Jubes. We hope that they can replicate that Jubes, add more impetus to his game and ensure that we're happy to see them commoding the Jubes because of the Super Eagles who are in the quarterfinal of the Champions League.
Okay, for today's fixtures, you'll be United traveling all the way to Spain to play Atletico Madrid, and Ajax will be away to Portugal to play Benfica.
For United against Atletico Madrid, that is the best. That is the star match of today, and a game that every lover of football, everybody who is enthusiastic of football who want to watch that match today, who want to go to see what is going to happen.
Especially, we all know Ronaldo's history with Atletico Madrid. In fact, statistics show that he has never lost a game, whichever team he has played for, against Atletico.
Against Atletico Madrid, but that statistic, sometimes statistics can also be deceptive. So, but even the Atletico Madrid also have a very fantastic statistic in the Champions League. So they have also done very well in the Champions League when it comes to Champions League matches. So definitely, there's everything to play for. And just like United coach has started the player that yes, it's left for you. You have to prove that if you belong to the elite Europe. So he has started to plan the player. Let's hope if the player can also justify that players, we have to be among the big boss in Europe.
All right, on to our final story before we leave the studio is the UEFA Champions League match, which was supposedly played in Russia. UEFA are actually considering moving that game away as a result of the face-off between Russia and Ukraine currently going on. So right now, a venue has not been chosen, but it's still being speculated that the Champions League final might be moved away from Russia.
Yeah, it's just an attempt. It's just a precaution measure. Just people are trying to suggest, okay, if the tension, if it's continued, just what matters is safety of the players. And we also know when it comes to Russia in terms of security issue and the rest. So, if these tensions continue, I think the UEFA will have no option than to move that competition. But the UEFA also tried to, because remember the Petersburg, who's supposed to is going to host the final of this year, was supposed to host the last year final, but because of the COVID, they take it away to go and host in Portugal, in Portugal. So, and at the same time, even the Istanbul was supposed to also hold the to host the next edition, the 2023 edition. But because of all those things, definitely UEFA will try to ensure that the safety of the players and the safety matters first. Because even the UK government and European has also came in to threaten the Russians. So definitely they have to take a very critical decisions on this thing. And UEFA cannot just overlook this kind of thing, wave away this kind of thing when it comes to security of football. Because without security, if there's no security, you can't play the game of football. So that is another thing. That is it. But we hope that the tension between Russia and UK will subside, because we don't wish anybody any security issues, any threat. We all want the whole world to be peaceful. I don't know if Wale is still there. Hello, Wale. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Wale. Thank you. I just want to ask you. UK, the city of Birmingham is going to hold the Commonwealth game coming July, and since you are in UK, I don't know what is the preparation and what is the mood. Are you begin to see the feeling of the Commonwealth game coming up in July in Birmingham City?
Of course, as far as concerned, the UK government are very, very, much ready for that, particular, Commonwealth Games. At this point in time, all the officials, all the volunteers that will be working in that particular game are already set to actually host the rest of the Commonwealth of our nation in Birmingham. So it's going to be, a fantastic, games. We actually saw them, hosting the London 2012 Olympic Games, and it was actually successful. So they are actually using, that experience to actually, build on what they have actually had in the past. And at this point in time, I can tell you, yes, the UK is ready to host the rest of the Commonwealth World in June, when the Commonwealth Games starts properly.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you again. Hope you're enjoying your stay so far.
Of course, I have enjoyed my stay, but the code is not here. But we need to actually. We need to just actually adapt.
Have you been able to watch your darling team Arsenal over there? Watch them live.
Of course, I've not been able to, but hopefully by March I should see a game in the Emirates Stadium in the next month.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Sports Orbit.
Thank you so much for having me. Regards to the leadership family, I miss you guys a lot anyway.
All right, thank you so much, Salufu. So,
nice one. Thank you.
Nice to be on the show again today.
It's always a pleasure.
All right, viewers, don't forget that the Falcons will be in action this afternoon against the Lady Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. We'll keep an eye on that one, and also later tonight there will be UEFA Champions League matches going down. Atletico Madrid versus Manchester City and Benfica versus Ajax. We'll keep an eye on that one. Tomorrow we'll give you a review of all that went down today. So until we come your way tomorrow again with another exciting episode, I remain your host, Afa Acho, and it's goodbye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.